Senator Vance recently asked the U.S. Director of National Intelligence, along with the Secretaries of State and Defense, if I was working in some capacity for the American government. Simply put, I'm an American serving as a Ukrainian infantry soldier and combat medic who was brought from the zero line and assigned to the TDF's media team in the dual role of spokesperson and Russian disinformation analyst. The remaining speculation surrounding me is disappointing. While in Ukraine we are fighting for global liberty and the ideology of victory, too many in Moscow and across the world are still caught up in focusing on the tired trope of gender chaos.
I think there might be a glitch in the Matrix, or the graphic department at the CIA probably did some of those MK Ultra psychedelics. Welcome back, beautiful and amazing human beings. My name's Zerkadowski here of wearechange.org, and there's a lot of absolutely crazy, wild, and bewildering news to get into today, especially when it comes to, of course, domestic news, as we are entangled in some foreign affairs that are coming home to roost, as, of course, gas prices go up. The economic outlook looks horrible as things are just falling down. As now, you could be accused of something and YouTube will take down your channel and, of course, demonetize you. We're going to be talking about that, plus a lot more, all here on this independent media organization. If you like the shirt that I'm wearing, you could get it on thebestpoliticalshirts.com. And the clip that we played in the beginning of this broadcast was done by the extremely talented C3PM Meme. And he's been on a tear lately, really knocking it out of the park. So don't forget to support him and subscribe to his YouTube channel down in the description below, as truly we need to be supporting our meme artists more than ever, since, of course, they are on the front line of the larger information war that, of course, entangles all of us. And his AI deepfake satirical comedic videos are absolutely hilarious, and they definitely do not pull any punches here. So shouts out to C3PM Meme. Go subscribe to his channel, as he and ourselves have to be careful now, since, of course, we satirically made fun of what's happening in Ukraine right now, which could end us up on kill lists, just like one of our fellow friends here, Jack Posobiec, who has been put on a Ukrainian government-linked website that is essentially their hit list, their kill lists that other commentators were put on and assassinated on. As now, Jack Posobiec, a journalist, a political online commentator, the Human Events senior editor, an American citizen, was just put on the infamous Ukrainian kill list, which also targets other individuals like Tucker Carlson, Elon Musk, Glenn Greenwald, that are perceived as, quote, enemies of Ukraine, who joined the list of individuals like former Russian journalist Daria Dugin, that now has, of course, been taken out in a car bomb. And to put an online commentator on this list is absolutely disgusting, as, of course, if you're going to put Jack Posobiec on there, you might as well put CBS News on there for reporting the fact that a lot of the money and weapons sent to Ukraine usually go missing, that there's a lot of corruption within the Ukrainian government that, of course, denies proper equipment to Ukrainian soldiers risking their lives, as the politicians who send them off to war live lavishly. As even yesterday, Volodymyr Zelensky just fired almost the entire staff of his defense ministry, and now you might as well add the New York Times to that specific hit list, as, of course, today they just released an article that is titled, quote, "Evidence Suggests Ukrainian Missile Caused Market Tragedy." This was an event that we actually reported on ourselves, highlighting the death of many innocent bystanders and civilians in Ukraine that now, according to the New York Times, evidence suggests, according to the New York Times, the Ukrainian government played a role in, which undermines the significant propaganda that this event was used to perpetrate, that now is being questioned even by mainline institutions like the New York Times. While domestically here inside of the United States, that, of course, keeps sending Ukraine all the money and weapons that can't be accounted for. They just recently lost an F-35 warplane, while the Marine Corps just issued a 2-day stand-down order for all aviation units inside and outside of the United States, which highlights potential fears of a hack that might have happened to the U.S. military. But don't worry, we have a very bold, strong leader that's puppeteering a flesh shoot, whose name is Joe Biden, that is ranting incoherently to the United Nations right now, saying this.
Now, even as we evolve our institutions and drive creative new partnerships, let me be clear. Certain principles of our international system are sacrosanct.
4 more years. That should be the official slogan of the Biden administration. Just as today, we are getting a report from NBC News that allegedly Joe Biden is worried about his own demise before his son's Hunter Biden's legal issues, as of course everyone is expecting a pardon from the current president of the United States for his son, who is facing a lot of scrutiny for all the international business dealings and huge sums of money that he got from many international corporations and governments linked to American foreign policy that his father was dictating. And while Hunter Biden probably will be pardoned and never see a day in jail, a lot of people are spending an incredibly long prison sentence for walking into the Capitol on January 6th, as there's some strange things happening now surrounding this entire saga, as the Associated Press is reporting that one rioter was convicted in secret, and still no one knows why, while Ray Epps was just charged with one misdemeanor count. Yes, you heard that correctly. Ray Epps, the topic of many different conspiracies, of many different theories, a man who is, of course, responsible for clearly escalating tensions on January 6th, a man who told everyone to go to the Capitol the day beforehand, the man who, of course, escalated tensions, is facing one misdemeanor charge of disorderly conduct. Meanwhile, an independent journalist was just convicted and found guilty of 4 charges, very serious charges that probably will end him up in jail, as federal prosecutors usually lump in an incredible amount of charges in order to solidify their cases against the individuals that were all a part of the January 6th incident, but yet go very soft-handed on Mr. Ray Epps here. What's really going on here? Well, we're going to be discussing that plus a lot more all later on today on LukeUnfiltered.com with a special broadcast, a special video available only for members. Signing up, it's quick, it's easy, it's just 50 cents a day. You click right here, you put in your information, we email you a login, you log in right away, and you get a huge plethora of amazing offers of value. 3 master classes, meetups in real life, which we're going to be doing very soon here again in South Florida, free ticket giveaways to the Timcast IRL event happening here on October 6th, as there's a lot of really important issues that we're going to be getting into that we can't on this particular broadcast, so we're just going to be doing it on our own platform, which I think is incredibly important, more than ever, especially in light of so many private corporations, even Twitter, recently disappointing us. And especially with the topic of our main discussion today, your support is absolutely crucial signing up to LukeUnfiltered.com. As of course, this platform that we're on right now definitely hasn't shown us any love, to say the least. Quite the opposite of that, especially with all the underhanded things that have been happening to us throughout the years. Again, having our own membership allows us to still survive as an independent media organization. So if you haven't signed up yet, it's quick, it's easy, it's simple. We focus on a lot of very important issues when it comes to bettering yourself, making the best decisions for yourself with every single video, a video almost there for you every single day, focused particularly on helping you gain the right amount of information so you can make the best decisions for yourself and your family members, particularly when it comes to health, wealth, and becoming the best, strongest version of yourself. This is why I call this a quasi-private, not-so-private secret society that, of course, anyone could join at any moment, anytime. 50 cents a day keeps a starving journalist alive and well, and working on and expanding independent media in many important ways that you could take part in now just by clicking this button right now, clicking the link in the description below, and signing up to lukeunfiltered.com. As, of course, the next story that we have to talk about is related to why we have our own platform, our own website, our own members area, away from all the other big tech social media platforms, as YouTube just officially announced that they have suspended working with Russell Brand after the allegations against him came out in the British tabloid corporate media, highlighting a very concerning issue, as, of course, Russell Brand wasn't found guilty of anything. He is being accused here, and as we were saying here on this independent media broadcast, we don't know exactly what still happened here. We're still waiting to find out all the details of what he's being accused of. And for YouTube to arbitrarily get involved here and to take down someone's monetization account because of unproven allegations made in the media is setting a very dangerous precedent for all online content creators. As, of course, other individuals like Candace Owens came out and said, quote, "I am struggling to comprehend how YouTube can completely demonetize someone based on allegations when there are actual drug dealers and convicts that currently have YouTube channels. How does this make sense?" And it doesn't. As, of course, a lot of other individuals who are criminals who have been accused of some very awful things, individuals like Mr. Bill Gates, are still allowed to be on the platform, are still fully monetized on the platform, and don't face any repercussions, even though this is the same man that had a wife divorce him because he wouldn't stop hanging out with the guy that was procuring small children to rich old guys that were doing unspeakable things to them. Holy frickin' cow. Seriously? Seriously. It's on the record that Bill Gates, more than on one occasion, wouldn't stop hanging out with a man that was known for procuring small children for powerful people to do whatever they wanted to with, to the point where his wife even divorced him over it. Okay, that's a very serious allegation, that there is an overwhelming amount of evidence suggesting that he did take part on this. And for his channel to still be in good standing, to still be promoted by YouTube, to still be fully monetized, is an actual disgrace. And if we're taking down channels because people were accused of anything, I think Bill Gates definitely needs to go. Another individual who even admitted to drugging, robbing, abusing, and taking advantage of other people still is promoted and fully monetized on the platform as well, showing, again, clear hypocrisy and how this has nothing to do with protecting women and probably has a lot to do with shutting down independent voices that dare to question the establishment, which we, of course, know Russell Brand has done. Now, again, what did Russell Brand really do here? Is he guilty what he is being accused of? Well, some individuals think he is, like Megyn Kelly, that came off and did a rant on this entire matter, pointing to hospital records and alleged text messages showing how Russell Brand is guilty of some of the accusations that he's being charged of. As we even told you here, anything and everything is possible here, as, of course, Russell Brand does have a history of having some impulse control issues. But the timing of this and the coordination of this is something that I think does deserve to be questioned in all of this, as clearly Russell Brand hasn't done himself any favors by criticizing a lot of very powerful people in our society that usually do very awful things to everyone else. And when it comes to this take by Megyn Kelly, I would say individuals should still be innocent until proven guilty, and that there is a lot of forging of evidence. There are a lot of bribes. There are a lot of falsified records that we should be careful and critical of. And when analyzing this entire case, I think skepticism is your best friend here, as, of course, it's worth evaluating exactly what's really going on here. As, of course, text message, medical records could be falsified, and victims who are remaining anonymous could, of course, also be paid off. Now, is that exactly what's happening here? Again, we do not know. These allegations are coming from anonymous people predominantly. They're coming all the way back from 2006, some as early as 2013. And while we wait to find out exactly what was going on here, something that I said was going to be happening is happening, and that is the slow drip of information that, of course, is there to try to undermine Russell Brand, his personality, and everything he stands for. As of course, it's not just YouTube going after him, as it's also a lot of other powerful institutions. But this move by YouTube is a very significant one. As of course, Russell Brand had over 6.6 million subscribers on his YouTube channel. He generated almost $1 million annually through ads alone. And with him being denied his monetization from the platform, this essentially is creating a slow bleed situation that is meant to, of course, undermine everything that he was doing. The BBC also removed Russell Brand's content from its iPlayer and sound services. His management agency just terminated all professional ties to him. His comedy tour was also canceled. And we're hearing allegation after allegation after allegation, as The Guardian very non-biasedly just wrote an article titled, quote, "The brave victims of Russell Brand's misogyny deserve full support. This time, let's get it right," calling essentially for more of his canceling, more of his prosecution based off the assertions and whims from individuals that are choosing to hide their identities here. Now, again, I'm not trying to excuse anything of what potentially Russell Brand did or didn't do here. All I'm saying is, let's actually wait until we see what the hell happened here before jumping to conclusions, but also at the same time understand that this political hit job is weaponizing trauma for political gain that clearly is motivated here to go after someone to stop them criticizing them. And again, the media is having a field day with this. The New York Post just released their live updates to this story. The Daily Mail is reporting how police officers in the United Kingdom are actually investigating these claims. It's going to be very telling to see what they do themselves here, as it's not just Russell Brand facing a lot of criticism here, but also Tim Ballard now, as 7 anonymous women are now coming forward against him. As I think it's always suspicious that they always go after the individuals that are always right-leaning, always independent-minded, always trying to hold a significant portion of the establishment accountable for their horrible actions. Is that just a coincidence? I don't think so at all, as of course there is still an entire client list of very horrible individuals walking around freely as the federal government used your tax dollars that allowed them for 30 years to run an international trafficking child operation that did horrible, unspeakable things to thousands of small children that we cannot forget here in the midst of all of this. To me, a lot of this stinks to high heaven. There could be multiple truths here. What do you think really happened? Does any of this new evidence convince you of Russell Brand's guilt? If so, press 1 if you think he is guilty. Press 2 if you think he is not guilty in the chat, just so we could see what you guys think about this entire matter. I gave my opinion on this, and if you agree with it, share it with your friends and family members. It is more imperative than ever, and because you do that, that's why I'm still able to be here. One more video coming your way on lukeunfiltered.com. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you, and that's why I love you guys. Stay tuned for more here on wearechange.org.